Listen to me. I need you to hear this from the depths of your soul. I don't care how rough your childhood was. I don't care if you grew up in a single-parent home. I don't care if you slept in the back of a car or got kicked out of school. That's not who you are. That's just what you went through. It's through. You are not your circumstances. You are not the pain that tried to break you. What you went through was real, yes, but it doesn't get to control the rest of your life unless you let it. The difference between the person who stays stuck and the one who rises is one thing: ownership. You gotta own your story. Don't hide it. Don't run from it. Don't bury it and pretend it didn't happen. Look it straight in the face. Say, yeah, that happened to me, but it didn't end me. It built me. When you start to take responsibility, not for the pain, but for your response to it, you flip the switch. That's when you go from victim to victor. That's when you stop letting life write your script and you pick up the pen. I was homeless, slept in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash can. People looked at me like I was a statistic, just another black man without a future. But I had a decision to make. Either I stay down or I rise up. Either I let the past define me or I define the future. And I'm telling you, the moment I said, no more blaming my father, no more crying about what I didn't get, no more playing small, something broke off me and something powerful took its place. You see, when you blame other people, you give them power. Every time you say it's because of what they did, you're saying, I have no control. But the moment you say, now I can't control what they did, but I can control how I respond, now the power comes back to you. That's how you flip the script. That's how you take your power back. Some of you are waiting for someone to come rescue you. You're waiting for closure. You're waiting for an apology. You're waiting for somebody to see your pain and say sorry. Let me tell you something. They might never say sorry. You might never get closure. But that doesn't mean you can't move forward. You don't need permission to heal. You don't need validation to grow. You don't need them to approve your next chapter because they weren't the ones who wrote your story in the first place. You got power inside of you that the world ain't even seen yet. But as long as you stay in that victim mindset, they hurt me, they left me, I can't, because they did, that power stays buried. You want to go from victim to victor? Start talking different. Start walking different. Stop saying I can't and start asking, how can I? Stop waiting on somebody to fix your life and start building it brick by brick, day by day. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna cost you something. You're gonna have to cry. You're gonna have to heal. You're gonna have to confront some things you've been running from for years. But it's worth it. You know why? Because freedom is on the other side of ownership. Peace is on the other side of taking responsibility. Power is waiting for you. You gotta own it. Nobody's coming to save you. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm telling you that because the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can rise. And when you rise, when you finally stop pointing fingers and start picking yourself up, the world changes. Your mindset changes. Your hustle changes. Your outcomes change. I need you to stop saying, I'm broken. No, you're not. You've been bent, but you're still here. That means you're built for this. Everything you've been through was preparing you. The heartbreak, the rejection, the trauma, it didn't destroy you, it shaped you. But it's your responsibility to use it. You can either let it be a weight that crushes you or a weapon that empowers you. So from this day forward, I want you to take ownership. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done blaming. I'm done waiting. I'm done waiting. I'm done giving people the keys to my future. This is my life. And starting today, I'm writing it different. Because the truth is, nobody else can live your story but you. And nobody else can turn that pain into power like you can. You're not a victim. You're not weak. You're not less than. You're not forgot. You are chosen. You are capable. You are a fighter. So act like it. Own it. Because the world needs your story. Not the version that ends in defeat, but the one that rises in victory. I need you to stop running from the pain. Yeah, I said it. Stop running from it. Stop avoiding it. Stop trying to numb it. Because the truth is, the very thing you're trying to escape is the exact thing that's going to take you to your next level. That pain you feel, that's not punishment. That's preparation. That pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. See, most people think pain is a sign they're losing. No, pain means you're in the middle of the process. You're growing, you're stretching, you're stepping into something bigger. That discomfort you're feeling, That's a sign that something great is coming. If you don't quit, everybody wants success. Everybody wants greatness. Everybody wants the reward. But nobody wants the struggle. Nobody wants the late nights. Nobody wants to be misunderstood. Nobody wants the heartbreak, the failure, the rejection. But that's the price. You don't get greatness without going through something. You don't get diamonds without pressure. You don't get strength without resistance. You don't get power without some pain. But we live in a generation that wants shortcuts. You want to skip the process. You want to avoid the valley and still reach the mountain. It don't work like that. The valley is where you get built. When I was homeless, when I was eating out of trash cans, when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, I hated it, yeah. But I used it. Every tear, every ounce of hunger, every time somebody said, "You'll never be anything," I didn't just cry over it. I trained with it. I went to war with it. I said, this pain, this is going to be my fuel. This is going to be what drives me when the motivation is gone. You know what separates the winners from the losers? It ain't talent. It's not connection. It's not connections. It's what they do with pain. See, victors feel pain and they fold. Victors feel pain and they fight. They focus. They don't let the pain define them. They let it refine them. You've got to learn to use what tried to break you as the very thing that builds you. That heartbreak, let it make you more compassionate. That failure, let it sharpen your focus. That betrayal, let it teach you loyalty. But whatever you do, don't waste your pain. There's something powerful that happens when you stop saying, "Oh, why me?" and you start saying, "Oh, why me?" When you stop running and start standing. When you look the pain in the face and say, "You're not bigger than me." I might cry, I might struggle, I might crawl, but I ain't quitting. Because when you endure the pain, when you sit in the fire and let it burn off everything weak in you, what comes out on the other side is stronger, wiser, hungry, and unstoppable. I need you to stop seeing pain as a punishment. Start seeing it as purpose. Stop saying, "Oh, God, take it away," and start saying, "Oh, God, use it." Because the pain is what activates something inside you. That's what makes you dig deep. That's what makes you level up. You don't become the best version of yourself on the beach. You become it in the storm. You don't grow on the mountaintop. You grow in the pressure, in the fight. You think success is about everything going right. Nah. Success is about showing up when everything is going wrong. It's about pushing through when it would be easier to quit. It's about grinding when you're tired, believing when nobody else believes, and fighting when you're scared. That's what separates champions from average. It's not how they feel, it's how they fight. And they use pain as their fuel. I remember being so low, man, I couldn't see tomorrow. I didn't know how I was gonna make it. But you know what? I made a decision. I said, I'm not gonna die in this. I'm gonna rise in this. I'm gonna rise in this. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I stopped replaying the trauma. I stopped nursing the wounds. I got up. I said, "Oh, let's go. Let's build. Let's build. Let's turn this into something." And guess what? That pain became my platform. That struggle became my strength. That season that almost destroyed me became the reason I inspire millions today. And now I'm telling you, whatever you're going through, it's not the end. Whatever you're going through is not the end. I don't care how deep the pain is. I don't care how many nights you've cried. I don't care how long you've been hurting. You've got two choices. Let it crush you or let it carry you. Use it. Use it when you're tired. Use it when you don't feel like getting out of bed. Use it when nobody believes in you. Use it when you feel empty. Use it to keep going. Use it to become. Because one day somebody's gonna look at you and say, "How did you make it through?" And you'll say, "I used the very thing that tried to kill me, to build me, to build me." That's what victors do. They take pain and turn it into purpose. They take struggle and turn it into strength. And they take fire and they forge themselves in it. The most dangerous thing you can do isn't failing. It's speaking failure over your life before you've even tried. See, the real battlefield isn't out there in the world. It's in your mouth, it's in your mouth, it's in your mind, it's in the words you speak over yourself every single day. Some of y'all keep saying things like, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough, it never works out for me." And then you're shocked when your life reflects that. Let me tell you something. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't curse your future with your own mouth and then ask God to bless it. I need you to hear me right now. Every word you speak is either building or destroying. You're either planting seeds of success or you're planting weeds of fear, doubt, and limitation. You keep saying, I'll never make it. You thought you won't. You keep saying, I'm too tired. Then your body's going to agree with that. You keep saying, nothing ever goes right. Then your mind starts looking for all the things going wrong, Because your words create, that's right. Life and death, not in your bank account, not in your relationships, not in your circumstances, but in your tongue. That's what the word says. And whether you believe in scripture or not, the principle is the same. Your mouth is powerful. When I was at my lowest, no degree, no direction, no money, no father, no hope. I had to learn to speak life into myself even when I didn't feel it. I had to learn to say, I'm going to make it, even when everything around me said I would. I had to declare, I am more than my situation, even when I was broken. Why? Because words shape reality, and I made a decision. I'm not letting my past define my future. I'm not letting what happened to me determine what happens through me. Some of you have dreams, but you talk yourself out of them every morning. Before the day even starts, you've already buried your goals in self-doubt. You say, I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. I don't have what it takes. Who told you that? Who gave you permission to limit yourself like that? I don't care what your teacher said, what your parents said, what your ex said. You don't have to believe any of that. What matters is what you say. What matters is what you believe and what you speak. You've got to flip the script. You've got to start talking different. You've got to train your tongue the same way you train your body. You don't let it run wild. You discipline it. You say, today I speak strength. I speak favor. I speak growth. I speak opportunity. I speak healing. I speak power. And I'm not talking about fake hype. I'm not talking about lying to yourself. I'm talking about choosing to declare the truth of who you can become even before you see it. That's faith. That's big. That's vision. That's what victors do. Winners speak with intention. They speak with focus. They don't just talk about their problems. They talk to them. They say, oh, this mountain is big, but I'm bigger. This challenge is tough, but I'm tougher. I was built for this. And you don't say it once. You say it every day. You say it until your mind starts to believe it. You say it until your habits change. You say it until your walk changes. Your posture changes, your results change. You say it until your life looks like the words you've been speaking. It's time to stop repeating the language of fear. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if I succeed? Fear says, I've never done this before. Faith says, this is my first step to greatness. Fear says, I don't know how. Faith says, I figured out. You've got to choose which one you're going to let live in your mouth, because whichever one you feed, that's the one that's going to run your life. Even when nobody else believes in you, you've got to be the first one to believe in yourself. You've got to be your own hype man. You got to be your own encourager. You got to wake up, look in the mirror and say, I am chosen. I am gifted. I am ready. I am focused. I may not be there yet, but I'm on my way. Because guess what? If you say it long enough, you're going to start moving like it's true. You're going to start working like it's real. You're going to start becoming what you believe. So stop calling yourself a failure. Stop calling yourself unlucky. Stop calling yourself average. You are not average. You are not average. You are not a mistake. You are not behind. You are just one decision away from changing your entire life. And it starts with your mouth. Speak life. Speak power. Speak vision. And then walk it out like it's already yours. You keep waiting until you feel like it. That's the problem. You're waiting for the mood to hit. You're waiting until it feels right. You're waiting until you're motivated, until the stars line up, until you're inspired. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you're stuck. That's why you keep starting and stopping. Because you're letting emotion run your life instead of discipline. And I'm here to tell you, feelings are liars. Your emotions will lie to you every single day. Your emotions will tell you you're tired when you've still got more in the tank. Your emotions will tell you to quit when you're right at the breakthrough. Your emotions will have you giving up on dreams you were born for, because they don't care about your future. They only care about comfort right now. I don't feel like getting up at 3 a.m. I don't feel like grinding every day. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like reading books and taking notes and staying hungry. But I don't need to feel it, because I decided, I made a commitment, and that the commitment is bigger than my mood. That's discipline. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I'm doing what I said I would do. Discipline says, I don't need motivation. I've got purpose. Discipline doesn't ask how I'm feeling. It asks, what did I say I was gonna do and did I do it? You think successful people feel like grinding every day? You think they're always pumped, always excited, always full of energy? No, but they show up anyway. They show up tired. They show up frustrated. They show up afraid. They show up in pain. Why? Because the vision is non-negotiable. They made a decision that their why is bigger than their feelings. That's the difference between a victim and a victor. A victim says, I don't feel like it, so I won't. A victor says, I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. You got dreams. You got goals. You say you want to be great, but how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to be consistent when nobody's watching? Do you want it bad enough to show up when it's boring, when it hurts, when it's slow? That's where greatness is built, in the mundane, in the unseen, in the days when it's just you, your grind, and no applause. And if you only move when you're excited, if you only push when it feels good, then you're not serious. You're just interested. But discipline means you're committed. There were days when I was broke, when I had nothing but a dream and a will to fight. Days when I was speaking to empty rooms, when nobody clapped, nobody posted me, nobody paid me, and showed up anyway. I spoke with passion anyway. I studied anyway, because I knew that the reward doesn't come to the emotional, it comes to the discipline. Your future doesn't belong to the person who starts fast. It belongs to the one who keeps going when it's hard, when it's lonely, when it's silent. That's who wins. You're waiting to feel inspired to write the book. You're waiting to feel confident to launch the business. You're waiting to feel ready to apply for the job, but you're wasting time. Stop waiting to feel ready and start moving. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after action. Motivation doesn't just show up. It's a byproduct of motion. Once you start showing up, once you build a habit, once you decide that nothing is going to stop you, that's when the power kicks in. But it starts with one thing, discipline. Some days you're going to feel empty. Some days you're going to feel like what you're doing doesn't matter. Some days your mind is going to lie to you and say, it's okay to slack off today. You've done enough. Just skip it. And that's when you got to get up and go harder. That's when you got to remind yourself who you are. That's when you got to say, nah, I've got to stand. Nah, I've got to stand there. I don't move off emotion. I move off execution. And don't get it twisted. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you never fall. It means when you fall, you get back up. It means when you slip, you don't slide. You don't use it as an excuse to give up. You correct, you adjust, and you continue. You keep showing up. You keep building. You keep rising. Because disciplined people understand something emotional people don't. Momentum is built, not wished for. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another hype song. What you need is to make a decision that your dream is worth the discomfort, worth the struggle, worth the sacrifice. That no matter how you feel, you'll show up. That no matter how hard it gets, you'll keep moving. Because winners don't wait on emotion. They lead with discipline. You want to go to the next level? You want to break out of average and live in greatness? Then let me tell you something that most people miss. It's not about what you get. It's about what you give. You keep thinking it's about the money, the follower, the title, the claps. No. Real success, real impact. It comes when you stop asking, oh, what can I take? And you start asking, what can I bring? You rise when you serve. You elevate when you lift others. The people at the top didn't get there by stepping over everybody. They got there because they carried people on their way up. You want to be a victor? Then stop thinking like a victim. Victims are always looking for someone to give them something. Give me a break. Give me attention. Give me credit. Victims wait for the world to serve them. Victors flip it. Victors say, how can I serve you? They say, how can I bring value? How can I solve a problem? How can I make your life better? That's how you build greatness. That's how you earn respect. That's how you earn respect. That's how you step into your purpose, by serving something bigger than yourself. You want the platform, but you don't want to carry the weight. You want the spotlight, but you haven't earned it in the dark. Let me tell you something. The most powerful people in the world are the ones who stayed low and served when nobody was watching. The ones who held doors open, who cleaned floors, who stayed late, Who gave their best when there was no applause? You think you're too good to serve, then you're too small to lead. Because real leadership doesn't start when people follow you. It starts when you serve them. I was just a kid from Detroit, homeless, hopeless, no connections, no name. But I started serving. I started speaking in schools for free, speaking in churches for free, helping kids, encouraging people, feeding folks who had less than me, even when I had almost nothing myself. I didn't do it for the camera. I didn't do it for the check. I did it because I believed in the mission. And guess what? That service opened doors that talent alone never could. That mindset elevated me. That attitude made room for me. You're trying to elevate with entitlement. That'll never work. You don't rise because you think you deserve more. You rise when you give more, when you give more effort, more love, more encouragement, more solutions. Some of you are wondering why people aren't blessing you, why things aren't opening up. It's because you're still thinking selfish. And life don't bless selfish, life blesses selfless. When you start pouring into others, life starts pouring back into you. That's the code. And don't confuse service with weakness. Some of the strongest warriors on this planet are the ones washing feet, feeding the hungry, mentoring the law, giving without expecting anything in return. That's power, that's legacy. Anybody can flex, anybody can flex. Anybody can talk about how great they are. So be helping people. Who's lifting up the next generation? Who's going back to the neighborhood they came from and saying, if I made it, so can you? That's what winners do. They don't just win for themselves. They win through others. They pass the baton. They plant seed. They build bridges. And when you serve like that, with your whole heart, with no agenda, with real love, the world will make room for your gift. The universe will open doors for you. God will elevate you. But only when he knows you won't just keep it all for yourself. Some of y'all think success is just about stacking up more for you. More likes, more stuff, more shine. But I'm telling you right now, the greatest feeling in the world is when you use your success to bless somebody else. When you help somebody else eat. When you see someone winning because you poured into them. That's the reward. That's where the fire is. You want to feel full? You want to feel alive? Start giving. Start helping. Start being the reason somebody else didn't quit. And here's the thing. Serving doesn't mean you have to be rich. You can serve with a word, a smile, a message, a hand, a few minutes of your time, a conversation that said, I see you. You matter. You've got this. Don't tell me you don't have anything to give. If you've been through pain, you've got wisdom. If you've overcome something, you've got testimony. If you're breathing, you've got value. So stop waiting to be perfect before you help somebody. Start now, because the truth is, the more you give, the more you grow, the more you live, the higher you rise. And the day you stop asking, what's in it for me? And start saying, who can I bless today? That's the day everything changes. That's the day you become unstoppable. That's the day you go from ordinary to extraordinary. That's the day you stop surviving and start leading.